What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the AT4 Bill YouTube channel. Will it be named that here in a few months? Probably not. So we're starting off with that low amount of energy because recently we got rid of the truck, or at least I got rid of the truck. I'd like to include all as there's a following of the Instagram and everything, you know, regarding the content I put out of the vehicle, cool adventures. That's my whole thing. Overlanding, you know, camping, road trips, and so on and so forth. So, how did this start? I purchased the vehicle July of last year, and the truck was built in May of last year. And I'm posting this at the end of May. Today's the 29th of May. And the vehicle is no longer in my possession. Why? So, to start off, I again brought the vehicle last July, and I fell in love. I had a 2021 Chevrolet Colorado, which I've mentioned many times before, and it was a great truck. Being that it was a great truck, I figured, well, why not upgrade to the newest and greatest version, almost as we do with our telephones. You have an iPhone 10, why not go for an iPhone 16 or 17 or whatever number they're on currently? So I did just that. Second gen Colorado, I upgraded to a third gen GMC Canyon At4 with all the bells and whistles, sunroof, moonroof, 360 camera, tow package. I mean, anything you can think of, this truck had it, as you guys saw in my previous reviews of the vehicle and everything. So I just went on, was the time to go and purchase this vehicle. Everything I wanted, everything I could ask for, brand new truck, 0 miles, right off the lot. It was the last sand dune metallic color that I love so much, and I've spoken about previously. So I purchased the vehicle, no problem. A few days after I purchased the vehicle, I noticed that the steering wheel was in alignment. So no problem, I bring it in, get an alignment, no problem, perfectly fine. That was the first thing. It's a brand new car and it needs an alignment. Big deal, maybe through transport or everything. Things happen. I'm a human being, I understand that, and this is a machine that we're speaking of, a vehicle. So from that, no problem, I keep driving, whatever, and I start to notice that the headlights are flickering, which I made another video about that. Again, went through that whole ordeal, and they got addressed. GMC addressed it, and no problem. The headlights work great. I mean, more than enough of a headlight that I could ever need, and the fog lights, it was perfect. It worked after it got fixed, obviously. But it took time and energy to get it fixed. It took getting it to the shop and bringing it up and getting it diagnosed through the dealership and them keeping it a day so then they could see that the lights are flickering and this and that, and transporting myself to and from the dealership, or if not, just waiting there, which I don't do because I have another vehicle, so that's fine. And then after that, I was washing my vehicle one day and I noticed that the windshield cowl, or is that what they call it, the little plastic crappy part where your windshield wipers are on, was ripped apart. And if you guys are hearing those sounds, it's because Mr. Luke here is to my left. He gets to hang out on the sofa like any good dog. So anyways, back on track. Again, I noticed that. I try to, you know, mash it back together myself. I can't do it because it's not working. Fine. Again, I call, I set up an appointment, I wait the days to bring it in for this appointment to the dealership so they can address it. I'm addressing it. Apparently they didn't have the parts in stock. So, again, they'll call me when they have the parts in stock. Perfect. I wait 2.5 weeks for them to get the parts installed, which they told me they replaced the whole windshield cowl. I didn't think they replaced it because it still had the same dirt from the same one it originally had after I had washed the vehicle, and it had been a few weeks. Okay, I take it, that's fine, no problem. What they did was they put a new metal clip instead of the plastic one that GM had originally put in there. So they just replaced a metal clip, now it clips on, and it's perfectly fine. Cool. Throughout this time, I hadn't posted or nothing, but I heard rattles on the dash, the door, whatever. Take it in, get it addressed, set up an appointment, waste time, waste energy. They have to diagnose, they have to do this, they have to do that. Patience, no problem. I'm a very patient person. And so they address it, they fix it, that's fine. Now, from the content that you guys are seeing, and that I've probably by this point finished putting out, the whole like 3 episode or 2 episode, I'm still deciding on what I'm going to do with it. Maybe a 2 or 3 episode series. So first episode is out. You guys can definitely go and take a look at that. I go on this 5,500 mile road trip from where I live, Richlands, North Carolina, all the way to up in Flagstaff, Arizona for Overland Expo. Took me a few weeks, a week and a half. I met up with my great friends, as you guys saw throughout the whole series, or will see, hopefully. So on and so forth. The truck performed great. The truck was awesome. The truck was extremely comfortable. The truck, I mean, it didn't miss a beat on the highway. It was great. I mean, that's the truck that I originally purchased and that I loved so much, that had already given me troubles, and I have kept on with it. And so that's fine. On the way back, the day that I left from El Paso, Texas, hanging out with 02 Mike, I was already like 6 or 7 hours in. I stopped at a rest stop and I turned off the vehicle. When I turned the vehicle back on, I noticed that the check engine light was on and nothing else was popping up. I said, okay, well, let me turn it off. Let me check under the hood, make sure the battery's still attached, because, you know, things happen. And I did off-road just a small amount, but I noticed that there was nothing wrong with it. Everything was fine. I checked the fuses, which that was another ongoing thing with these brand new vehicles, where the fuses were not properly seated where they were supposed to, and people were getting crazy amount of codes, the vehicle wouldn't turn on, so on and so forth. Checked the fuses, everything was fine. I checked them once every month or so, or every 2 months, or 30 days, or whatever. I'll check the fuses whenever I wash the vehicle, just to make sure everything's in line as a responsible owner. Didn't notice anything wrong. I turned the vehicle back on. Great. I checked the app and to see the GMC app to see if there's any other codes in there. Couldn't see anything. Obviously, I'm on a road trip. I don't have a scanner with me. So the next best thing to do is to search for a GM dealership, which I did. And luckily, it was just like a 5-minute drive down the road from the rest stop where I was at in Texas, middle of nowhere, Texas, too. I drive it in. The vehicle was driving fine, no problem. I drive it in. I explain my situation. I says, hey, I'm driving through. I'm on my way back to North Carolina, you know, 1,800 miles away from home, and the vehicle popped a check engine light. Okay, they scan it free of charge. Obviously, the vehicle's under warranty. Didn't have to set up an appointment as I'm driving through, and I don't live there. So they scan it. The gentleman insured me. Oh, we'll just clear it, whatever. And I asked him before he walked away, I was like, well, what code popped up? He said, oh, don't worry about it. It's a fan module failure, signal failure to the fan module connector, some electronic. But it's fine. I cleared it for you. Look, it doesn't have a check engine light. The vehicle was running at this point, right there in the drive-in service. I'm happy. I'm like, okay, some computer thing, fine. I get on my way. I drive another few hours. Nothing happened. The vehicle is perfectly fine. And I turn it off to get gas. When I turn it back on, of course a check engine light comes back on. And this time, just like, he just cleared it a few hours ago. It didn't have any problems. Well, the light was off or on or whatever it was doing. So I'm like, why is the check engine light back on? Whatever. I was extremely just angry at this point. I did my drive from Texas all the way up. I rested. I turned the vehicle off and on many times to get gas on that long trip. And the vehicle was performing fine. Didn't have any other problems, any other hiccups. I get home, and just thinking about the situation just made me so freaking frustrated, as the vehicle is literally a year old. Not even from the time that I bought it. from being built and walking out of the assembly line, or driving out of the assembly line, one would say. And I've had all these many little problems with it. Oh, and of course, not to mention, folks, the ones that do have these third-gen Colorados or Canyons, all the updates. And the thing with the updates is, luckily, I didn't have to deal with that. I guess the first few people did, or I got into the settings the minute I purchased the vehicle and I turned everything off, like an iPhone, where I didn't let it download, or it had to be via Wi-Fi for it to download or anything. But the updates on these new vehicles, it's literally worse than an iPhone. An iPhone will do an update in 5 minutes. These things, if it's downloading while you're driving, it's one thing. But if you turn it off and the thing is still wanting to download, the radio stays on. So that means it's draining your battery. And it happened to so many people. Again, I luckily wasn't affected because I took the measures of turning off any automatic updates. And that's how I dealt with it. Or at least I think that's the way I dealt with it. But so many people would wake up in the morning ready to go to work, and oh, well, my vehicle was updating overnight. Now I don't have a vehicle because, you know, I don't have jumper cables, or I don't have a jump box because I bought a brand new, quote unquote, reliable $50,000 truck. Why would I also need to buy a jump box or jumper cables if, you know, it's a brand new truck? So they would have to call the tow truck, or call the dealership, or call OnStar and get a tow truck out, get it to the dealership, lose a day's maybe of work, or if they had an emergency, they're losing time, energy. I mean, you could imagine all the things that could go wrong if you were to walk outside right now and turn on your brand new vehicle and the car doesn't turn on. You're going to be extremely frustrated. And if you don't have a jump box, or if you don't have jumper cables, or let's say you live in a town where there isn't much of anything there and you have to drive an hour away, or you live somewhere in the woods, now you're just literally a sitting duck with a beautiful brand new truck that is worth nothing because it doesn't turn on, it doesn't run, it doesn't do anything. So, on the way to Texas, you see, I'm starting to already get frustrated again. On the way to Texas, it asked for updates. I was driving, I don't know why, if I had all the settings turned off, it asked for updates. Me, being, you know what, yeah, sure, I've had the truck for close to a year, what, 7 months now, 8 months? Let's let it update at this other rest stop. Hit the screen, the thing updated, and if you follow me along on Instagram, on AT4Bill on Instagram, you know that I had posts like, oh, another update, and it happened twice. So the first update, stopped at a rest stop, I walked around, I stretched from all this long drives, and the vehicle updated. Less than 15 minutes, and it did an update. It didn't even say what the update was. It just said your truck, your GMC vehicle keeps improving and getting better. Do this update now, and blah, blah, blah. Hit the screen, turn it off, walk off. Mind you, it's like a phone, so when your phone is updating, you can't use it. So while your truck is updating, you can't use it. Can't lock it, unlock it, put the windows down. They tell you basically to just get out of the vehicle and just leave it there until it figures out the update and it hopefully installs it properly. So that first update, it worked fine. I'm like, okay, cool, perfect. While I was in El Paso, at a restaurant, again, if you follow me along, it asked for another update. This time I had already gotten out of the restaurant, and I'm like, oh, okay, again, just had a big meal, I'll just walk it off, you know, walk around the parking lot, go on my phone, talk to people and whatnot, and I had to do the update. Again, it was like, mind you, it was like 25, 30 minutes at this point. The update, again, didn't say what it was for. It just says, your vehicle, GMC vehicle keeps improving, do the update now, blah, blah, blah. So I press it, it installs it, I, you know, walk our vehicle, just leave it there with all my stuff, and when I come back after like 25, 30 minutes to turn on the vehicle, the screen pops up, update failed. Next time, shift to park, and it will, you know, let you reinstall it. I says, all right, interesting. So right there in the parking lot, I turn it on, put it in drive, I go back in and out of the parking spot, and I set it in park again, and I go on the screen and I try to update, and it says update failed. Now you need to take it to a dealership to get it updated. So now this is kind of becoming pretty annoying, because why do I have to take my brand new truck to a dealership to get it updated because it can't do it on its own for God knows whatever reason? And what a lot of people, because I'm in all the forums or the Facebook pages for these third gen vehicles, it's, oh, the battery voltage isn't high enough, so you need to put it on a tender. Oh, that's right. You now, like if you're a person like me who doesn't have a battery tender, battery charger, oh, well, now I need to go out of my way and buy a battery charger at home so I can plug in and charge my brand new $50,000 off-road, all-terrain, super cool truck overnight, so it can download an update and it can hopefully download successfully, and when I get it in the morning, I'll go merry on my way. So you see how all these little things just start piling up, and you can have all the patience in the world until you lose it, like I did in this specific case. So again, the vehicle didn't update. Maybe that caused the check engine light. I mean, who knows at this point what caused it? The vehicle didn't overheat throughout the road trip, and I drove for like 3 days, 2 days straight. It was like 1,800 miles. Didn't have any hiccups or anything, but it's all the little electronic parts that are causing these vehicles to have problems. I was lucky enough to, I guess, say that my vehicle was pretty good for the 7 or 8 months of ownership, technically, with all the things that I just mentioned to you all that were small problems, but a problem nonetheless, and a problem that required time and energy. Oh, and if you need to leave the vehicle here overnight because we need to diagnose it, then okay, well, if they don't have a loaner, which I didn't really have to worry about because I have another vehicle at home, when I need to get somebody to come pick me up from the dealership with my vehicle so I can go home and utilize my other vehicle. So it's just a whole bunch of like little BS here, little BS there, and how much of that can you eat a spoonful at a time so you get fed up with it. So I got pretty frustrated and angry enough to just not even take it to the shop, not even deal with whatever the check engine light was, nothing. I got home from my road trip, I unloaded all my junk out of my truck after having a great week, being out in Overland Expo, going to the Grand Canyon, just having a ball of a time with my friend in my, what I thought was pretty good, reliable vehicle, until they just popping up check engine lights on the ride back. And I didn't want to deal with it. I said, you know what? I'm done dealing with this thing. Because if I go on another 5,000-6,000 mile road trip, oh, guess what? Your 3-year, 36,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty is going to be up. And I didn't purchase an extended warranty. Why? Because I just purchased a brand new vehicle that was sold to me as reliable, remodeled, cool engine, and you know, all the great stuff that we buy new vehicles for. So why am I even having already, before I walk out of a dealership, buy an extended warranty for something that is brand new that has a warranty? Maybe if General Motors and the rest of the automakers had so much trust in their vehicles, maybe they would extend their warranties to 10-year, 100,000 miles. Wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't we all be satisfied there? I mean, they're going to be satisfied because if they have any warranty work to do on their vehicles, they're still going to get paid, i.e. the dealerships from corporate or from the manufacturer, and we as customers would be taken care of. But if you're offering a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty on a vehicle that is supposed to be off-road and overland and cool, and you can do all the hookups for and everything, but the vehicle after 3 years, 36,000 miles isn't worth a damn because it's literally falling apart and all the cool electronics on it are crap, are literally crap, and are just making the trucks brick up and just completely damaged. Again, I've heard cases of people on the forums where the ECU, the traction control, their rear brakes would lock up, they would lose brakes on the highway. I mean, it's literally like a safety hazard to even be in one of these vehicles when they're not working properly. When they are, well, they're great, like everything else. But when they start having little electrical issues, might as well just leave it out in a field and let it figure itself out, because you can't even drive it on the highway. And there are many cases. If you guys go on Facebook and you check third gen Colorados and Canyons, third gen new vehicles, whatever, it's non-stop every day somebody's posting something new. And again, I don't really bash those people for posting, because they really just want to know, like, well, what's going on with my vehicle? Is anybody else experiencing the same thing? Are you guys all sucking it up the way I'm supposed to suck it up with a $50,000 vehicle? If not, if you have an AT4X, I mean, you're up $65,000 for a truck that can barely drive at that point, with all the electronics. So I got fed up. To make long story short, after almost 20 minutes of filming here, I got fed up, and Monday was Memorial Day. So Tuesday, bright and early, like I said, I took all my junk out throughout the weekend. When I got back home, put it all in the garage, emptied out the truck, didn't wash it, didn't fuel it up, didn't care to set up an appointment for an oil change, didn't care to set up an appointment for a check engine light to see what could have possibly more been wrong with the vehicle, or if it was just, again, another reset, and a week down the road it just came back and I would have to waste more time, more energy, more everything to go back and forth to the dealership. So, like any, I guess, normal person would do, I just brought it back to the dealership and told him I no longer want the vehicle. I want to sell it back to you guys. Not as a lemon, because again, I didn't spend 30 days at the dealership because I didn't even want to wait for that even to happen. So I got a good deal on it. The dealer bought it back. Yes, I took a loss. You can't win every single time, but my loss wasn't substantial to the point where I'm like, wow, you know, maybe I should fix my truck and keep it and hopefully pray that nothing else goes wrong with it until after a year, after July, that I barely owned the truck for a year. So I got rid of it. I am currently waiting for the dealer to pay off the bank that I financed it through, and for them to release the title, and so I can get my check and go shopping again, maybe 1 or 2 months down the line, once I'm cool enough to go to dealerships and purchase a new vehicle. Maybe if you follow me on Instagram, you can see that I'm a little impatient, and I might have stopped at a dealership, 1 or 2 dealerships, to check out other vehicles. But for the time being, I don't think I'm going to be purchasing a vehicle, as I have a Subaru Outback, which, again, if you follow along, I've done a review on it. It's a great, reliable vehicle with 15,000 miles, and I haven't had any other problems besides a deer hitting me in it less than a week. It was in a shop, and it was fixed literally with brand new parts. So that's a problem-free vehicle, and Subarus last a lifetime, and Subaru has saved my life on a vehicle rollover before, so I have no doubts that my brand new Subaru isn't going to give me any problems, because, oh, again, it's a brand new car, so why would it have any problems? Right? Food for thought. Crazy thought that I'm having here. But my brand new $20,000 more expensive car or truck, my GMC AT4, is going to have all the problems. And I didn't buy a 2023 thinking and hoping that by 2024, 2025, all the problems will be resolved. Oh boy, was I wrong. I thought I missed the bullet there, but no, I did not. So that's what I did. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to deal with any more dealerships and appointment and then diagnostic and get a ride, and oh, we don't have a loaner. Oh well, sir, I'm sorry, you're having these issues. I didn't want to hear any of it. I didn't want to hear nothing. I didn't want nobody to look at me and be like, well, sir, things like this happen and blah, 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 blah. I just got fed up with it, because it's so many little things in literally, 7-8 months that I owned the vehicle. We're in May, yeah, maybe a little bit more, 10 months, 9-10 months, whatever. Little stuff like that I have to take the vehicle, blah, 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 and it's a problem. It really is just a headache. Like, nobody should have to do all of this for a brand new vehicle. I mean, and I know it's not just GMC specific. I'm well aware of that. Toyota's having their problems with their Tundra engines, or transmission problems. Ford, well, I don't buy a Ford because, well, you turn on the 6 o'clock news and it's like 2.3 million Ford vehicles are currently recalled. And, oh, of course, can't leave it behind. GM and their 6.2 V8 engines are now having a, I don't know, gazillion vehicle recall. I don't know how many, like tens of millions of cars have to get recalled because the engine just craps out. Like every engine should do, right? Am I right? Oh no, that shouldn't happen. So, but it does happen. So that's where I'm at, folks. I made the decision. Maybe I should have been more patient. Maybe you guys can comment and say, well, I'm having the same problems and I'm thinking about getting rid of mine, or you're just gonna suck it up and keep it until the warranty expires, and then you're gonna be tens of thousands of dollars out when the bumper-to-bumper warranty's expired, and you only have the 5-year 60,000 mile warranty, which if you really look deep into the lines, it's not a bumper-to-bumper warranty. It only covers internally lubricated components or parts. So that means if your electronics, like what I was told on my road trip was a computer fan module or fan disconnect failure, if I would have been over that 36,001 mile, then that means I would have had to pay to take the vehicle apart, the whole front bumper, so then they could get to the fan, so then they could disconnect it or diagnose it, which nowadays dealerships don't even diagnose vehicles. It's a computer that does it, and the mechanics just wait for a new part and they just put a new part. They don't fix it because, well, they have millions of little parts, and that's why everybody's on back order waiting for parts, because they don't fix it. They don't have kits to fix things. They just hear old for new. Again, same thing like your telephone, your screen breaks and you have a small insurance on it or whatever, you just go turn it in and you just get a brand new phone back. They don't even change the screens. So it's all the same thing with that. Beautiful truck. I enjoyed it for 8-9 months, if that. It was cool while it lasted. I got to do my one and only overland trip with the vehicle before I just completely got rid of it. So my trip was great, and now I don't have a truck. I would like for you all to recommend what vehicle I should check out next. I would really appreciate it if you'd had good experiences. I know all the Tacoma fanboys. I have some in my family. Third gen Toyota Tacomas are great. I understand that. I very much so understand that until I go and test drive one that I like, that I can modify. So that would be like a TRD off-road. Then I will find one close to by here in North Carolina and check one out. Maybe buy one if I like it, right? Since those are like bulletproof and don't require anything else, you just change the oil, put gas in it, and go. And yeah, that's it. That's the video. I no longer have the AT4 of the build part. We just have the build part now. No AT4. Again, I think I posted, which I did, on Instagram. You follow along that after I post these videos and everything, and I find a new vehicle to obviously purchase, I will rename the YouTube and the Instagram page together. I will rename them to whatever specific vehicle. So if I buy a TRD, it'd be like TRD Bill, or a Frontier, like, I don't know, Pro 4X Bill, or something cheesy along those lines. And again, do a whole review and follow up, and hopefully go overlanding with it and have a completely better experience than what I've just had to deal with a car that can barely last a year, with that just having a bunch of computer issues. Oh, and not to mention fuel injector update last month, because I just got a oil change last month before my trip. The fuel injector had to get updated. Oh, and same thing, it was just through the computer, so who knows if that could have been something as well, right? Nobody knows until everybody knows. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I hope you all have a better luck and with your third gen Colorados and Canyons, And yeah, stay tuned for whatever I may purchase next, and we go and hoon on it and rig it out and buy wheels and tires for it and upgrade it and everything. Thank God I didn't do that with this truck, because then I would have had to undo everything so I could get rid of it. So, alright, see y'all in the next episode or next video or whatever might come next. See ya.